welcome back
Hello
to
there.
another. Hello there. Welcome back to another chaotic pubcast after hours. Joined my good friend, Mr. J, Mr. Tipsy, Jesse,
Yeah, get it right. Thank you.
and a little face behind the scenes. Been here since episode 1, season 1. You guys have heard him. You guys have heard of him. But he's finally here, up close and personal for you.
However,
We have Mr. Jurgen.
He has never heard us.
Yes. Hello.
Jurgen, how does it feel to be an intern on our podcast and never listen to one episode?
It's called life.
I guess I can't argue with that. I guess I can't argue with that statement.
Jurgen, talk to me a little bit about what we just did over the past hour.
Yeah. Well, actually, let's not even that. Just the last 24 hours.
Yeah, the past 24 hours. Give me a rundown of your past 24 hours.
It was great. Definitely a lot of.
We don't care about
shows.
your personal life. What shows did you watch?
No. That's what I was saying. We just got a season finale of Kenobi, which was incredible. Season 1, episode 3 of Miss Marvel, and then the boys Herogasm. That was something else. Fucking crazy. That's all I gotta say.
So we watched what? We watched Kenobi. We watched the season finale to Kenobi. We watched episode 3 of Miss Marvel, right?
Yeah.
And we watched episode 6 of the boys. Episode 6, right? Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, episode 6.
Herogasm, which was fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
So just so you know, if you're watching this, we're fresh out of watching Herogasm.
It's right here.
Like
it's
10 minutes
right here.
or so.
It's right here. So
yeah,
we want to talk about it.
Dude, what a great week for superhero, fantasy,
nerds.
Sci-fi, whatever entertainment.
Yeah,
for nerds.
Just fucking nerds. Yeah. Definitely.
So, Jurgen, I gotta ask. Obviously, Herogasm is the freshest on your mind, but if you could take away that bias for a second, what was your favorite of the 3 you saw? And that's what we'll start with.
I feel like that's a little unfair to ask, right? Because
we had a finale.
Yeah,
we had a big mid-season thing.
We had a big build-up mid-season, and then we had the early on episodes of the show. It's difficult. That's a loaded question.
You're right. It is a loaded question, and I want to know the answer.
Okay, fair enough.
It's biased, just because, I love Star Wars, and Revenge of the Sith's my favorite. I love the finale of Kenobi. I was disappointed because, when he was in the crater and Vader was above him, I really wanted him to say, who's got the high ground, or I've got the high ground,
Yeah.
I felt that was a missed opportunity, but overall, I like the fighting. I like the scene. I felt like they were really, he was kind of getting back his, Jedi, skill and being able to, fight, at that level. Obviously, I feel like Vader is still more powerful just because of, he's younger and he's, more engrossed himself in the dark side.
He's just been doing it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Obi-Wan overpowered him. So what does that say about either both or none? What does that say about both of them?
He will never live up to his master because he's such a little piece of shit, right?
But
yeah,
maybe
if
Anakin wasn't dead, he would be able to overtake Obi-Wan.
I mean, that's another conversation as to I'm curious how it would be if Anakin was actually
he'd be a Jedi.
Anakin and didn't get his legs chopped off, and how would he be as a Sith Lord? And obviously that's another topic.
You mean if he still would have gone to be Darth Vader but not have been so disabled.
Yeah.
Robotic's probably a better word.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would really affect it, right? I don't think that would affect it at all. I personally don't think so.
I don't know. Well, in some ways, yes, it would, because one of the big key scenes in this finale that really fucking crippled Vader was Kenobi slashing at his chest piece, which made it hard for him to breathe, and hard to breathe means hard to move. because you're not getting
Yeah.
oxygen to those muscles, right? So that's really what kind of took him
So
down.
so what is the difference between their last encounter earlier in the season versus their final encounter? Besides Obi-Wan's reasons, right?
Well,
And also,
they just finished the goddamn Clone Wars where they were generals. They were out on the field fighting
no, no,
every
no, no,
day.
no, 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 no,
Can
no, 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 no,
I know,
no,
I
no.
know, but
Okay,
hear me out, hear
okay,
me out, hear me
okay,
out, hear
okay,
me out.
okay, okay.
Kenobi was out there fighting every single day, putting all of his Jedi training into action on the field of battle in the Clone Wars, and then faces off against his Padawan, which of course was emotionally devastating for him. We saw that. However, now he's put all that to rest. Like he's not touched the Force in 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
Anakin, Darth Vader, has been out there still just hunting down Jedi, just slashing and slicing. You know he's still training because he's got little robot legs and he feels like he
Mm-hmm.
needs to. So I think there's a big difference. I think
I didn't,
Anakin
I
has
didn't, I
grown a
didn't
lot.
mean, I didn't mean about Revenge of the Sith. I meant their encounter earlier in the season when they faced off when Obi-Wan got
Oh,
burnt.
I'm sorry. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, it's okay,
You're
it's
talking about
okay.
episode 5 where they
I think
were
that was like
dueling
four.
or they were
Yeah, one of them earlier in the season. At some points, it did face off, and
it was
Darth
last week.
Vader essentially did overpower Obi Wan.
Yeah.
And then two episodes later, Obi Wan overpowers Vader,
Well, he
Darth
lost
as he
like half
calls
his
him.
body.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same encounter in both of these episodes, though.
Yeah. Dude,
They're
the
both
back to back that was exactly the
yeah,
same as the
yeah,
earlier training. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I would say it was
Shouts out to
more
Eric
of
Voss.
like in the last episode he was kind of like realizing that he needed to protect, Leia and everybody, so it's like he had to put his life on the line. He had to like try his absolute hardest where I felt like in the earlier episodes of the season, he was still protecting, but I felt like he didn't know, like, I don't know, if Vader was gonna be as like menacing as he was.
Yeah. He
He,
was
I
still
guess
hoping
he,
Anakin was still in there.
yeah, and he was hoping like, oh, maybe if I could talk with him or something, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of coming off of Eric Voss's video, but it just kind of seemed like in the first encounter, Obi Wan hadn't touched the Force in like 10 years, right? Since
Mhm.
or plus or minus a couple of years. And then by the time the second encounter came along, he had already like came in touch with the Force and like had used his lightsaber a little bit, gotten his bearings, kind of like wiped up the rust a little bit, and kind of figured out like, oh, I can fight, motherfucker. So I feel like, but that's kind of what happened between episode. I want to say it was episode 3. It might have been episode 4 whenever they
Yeah.
first encountered each other. But by the time the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
episode came along, he kind of like got his bearings along, and he was like, "Yo, I can fight Darth, Anakin, Darth, and I can take him on." And he fucked him up a little bit.
Yeah, and there's also the whole point of like, imagine someone that you really cared for, and I'm not even talking about something bad happened, just somebody you really cared for. Like the
Mm-hmm.
first time you see them again, it's really just like a shock to you, especially if something bad has happened, right? It's like
Like it's
it's
a
really
completely
a
different
shock to
person.
you.
They're a completely different person.
Yeah, especially after that long, and then that was the last thing that happened when you saw them, and then of course, like, and then you have time to process that a little bit, even if it is just a few days
Yeah,
or even if whatever, and then you see them, like, you obviously have time to be like, okay, I got my mind straight on this. One of us has to die,
yeah,
like,
and
which
that's
is what he was
Yeah.
telling Qui-Gon.
and that's what I think people like, because I don't know if you've seen. I mean, I don't know if you guys the internet. They've been
I
bitching a lot
once or
about the
twice.
Kenobi series, right? They've been bitching about this Kenobi series not being good and shit. But people don't understand that like the psychological aspect of the show. They do not understand that aspect of it, and it drives me nuts because it's like Kenobi is watching like his, as he calls him, his brother, like turn into this person that he does not recognize, and
Yeah.
that's like the whole thing about it.
No, I totally agree. It's it's definitely like, a mental break that he realizes where it's like, I trained you, I raised you essentially, you're my relative, and then you've gone through this dark path, and it's been so long since we've seen each other, and you know it's definitely like hard, and I realize like the show, like as much as like Jay was saying how people don't like some of the direction. Honestly, I think the show is great.
Mhm.
Obviously, I don't think they're gonna make another season. I think this is kind of just like a one and done.
You don't know. You never know. You never know, dude.
Mm,
You never
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
know
mean,
about that.
maybe
Yeah.
that would be.
I mean,
I
that would
hope
They
be
not.
awesome.
introduced, I would agree with you. I would agree with you 100% because they provided closure on so many things, even down once again, Eric Boss. They even down to Owen hurting his leg, and that's why he has that little
Yes.
limp.
Dude, I would have never.
In
Okay, well, like, to be fair, I would have
I
never
know.
noticed that. I would have
Me neither.
never.
Me neither. But they provided so much closure to like things that happened in the future, things that happened in the past. And I'm like, dude, this is a one and done. This is a one season done. The only catch, and this is me, this is not our friend Eric. Um,
Our best friend Eric.
this is not our friend Eric speaking. This is me. They introduced so many new characters. Now, am I saying that means Kenobi season two? Absolutely not. I think they could. Yes, he's literally leaving Tatooine as we see him. He's not. He has the garb on, not to go back to his cave, but to go out on a mission, right? So that's one reason. Two, they introduced so many new characters.
Yeah.
So many new characters.
What's his name? What's his name? Ice Cube's son. I always forget his name.
Yeah,
O'Shea Jackson Jr.
O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah, he. Well, I mean, he was rumored to be. What was the Jedi's name? The one with the yellow stripe on his face. I forget his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I always forget his name. But he was rumored to be him, and he wasn't, right? But they introduced his character, and he
Hey,
obviously.
Jurgen, actually, can you look that up for us? Who is that?
Yeah,
Who
of
is that
course.
Can
Jedi
you
with
be our
the
good intern? Can you be our actually good intern?
say
Say a
say
Sherman. Throw a
say,
Sherman.
say sure, man.
Sure, man.
More excitingly though. Yo, you'll say it like a little bit more excited.
Sure, man. Absolutely.
There you go. That's what we
I
want
do
to
have
hear.
one gripe though. I felt like Riva's character. I wanted her to die, but obviously, since we knew in the earlier episode that the Grand Inquisitor didn't die after being stabbed,
I mean, we kind of knew
I
that though, right?
felt
We
I
kind
That's
of
felt
the
knew
other.
like
that.
her. I felt like hers, like where it's like Kenobi and her like connected, being like you were in the Jedi Temple. You witnessed this. You don't like Vader. She tries to fight Vader, and then she like supposedly dies, but obviously it didn't happen. And then she turns in to be like, all right, you know, now I'm gonna kill, Luke. But I don't know if she like remembers or be like, oh, maybe that's Vader's son, so I'm gonna get revenge or something. I don't know. I just felt like
Um,
she was going into like the redemption way, and then she just went a complete 360 and was like, now I'm gonna be evil again.
can
So
you
I
delete
don't
that
know. It was
by
just
the way? But can you
Yeah,
delete my last Yeah.
I always do. I
Okay.
always do.
Okay.
But now I'm not because then that'd
Delete
make it
your
weird, right?
delete your as well by yeah,
Um,
actually keep the whole last one. Keep the whole last 20 seconds.
Reva, right? Where the fuck is she going? What is going to happen with her, right? That's another character introduced
She's not a Sith
that
anymore. Or I mean, she technically never was a Sith,
gr-
right?
grayish,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
grayish.
yeah.
now she's gonna become like she's
Definitely
obviously has
still
some good
leaning,
to it,
definitely still leaning pretty dark.
but she's got some light to her, right?
But wouldn't it be cool as shit? Hear me out, guys.
I'm
Wouldn't it be
listening.
cool as
I'm listening.
shit if we saw a series, maybe not about Reva, maybe Reva just pops up in a series, right? About this
Great
not
Jedi.
Jedi, not Sith, kind of, I'm not even gonna say gray because I think leaning more towards dark side. Maybe like a fucking mercenary who has force powers, right? Like
About
like
a
like like
force
she like
sensitive
she's
bounty hunter.
like she's taking down bad guys. Like maybe that's her thing. She's going out and taking down Sith Inquisitors, and she's taking down Empire officers and shit. with her force powers and her. Well, she doesn't have a lightsaber anymore. Maybe she finds one, right? But like
Yeah.
that would be dope as fuck. We saw like not really so much a dark side Sith, but like a dark side user who is doing it for the greater, kind of like a Western type shit, right? Like they're doing some bad shit, but like they believe it's right in their head.
So it's not a great Jedi. It's not a
I mean,
force sensitive bounty.
it's
Well,
still technically a
the
gray.
idea that I'm tickling is that it's not a force sensitive bounty hunter because we've never had one of those either, right? As far as I know, as far as I
No,
know.
yeah, it's some in Legends, but none in canon
Yeah,
that I
So
know of.
somebody
that would
that just
definitely be
like hunts
intriguing.
down Sith her their own way.
That would be
Is
badass. I would watch
is
the
that what
shit
you
out
is
of
that
it.
what you is no, I'm just want to
Yeah,
make sure that's
yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah.
Okay.
And to be clear, Gray, we've always talked about Gray Jedi. I'm now talking about a Gray Sith.
Is that a thing?
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah, it would be interesting to
so
see that play out if they
what
ever
do you
do
think? What do you
something
think,
like that.
Grogu? Yeah, I agree.
But
Oh
I
shit,
think
he's
we
done.
should segue into Miss Marvel because
Yeah,
I
I was
have
gonna say
definitely a
we're
God
couple
damn!
15, we're
things about
16
that.
minutes into. Good
What a
job,
good
Jurgen. Yo,
what a
what
good
a great
intern.
intern. Yeah, 16 minutes into it. We should stop talking about Star Wars because we've established that people don't care about us talking about Star Wars. So yes, Miss
God
Marvel.
damn! I knew we hired you for a reason.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
that's why you get paid the
You
big
know,
bucks.
I
I'm still
realize
mad about the
like
chair, but we'll talk about that
I
later.
realize
Shut
about
the fuck up,
like
Grogu.
with Miss Marvel like I guess there was I kind of want to talk about this scene and then kind of like re-step like the episode like at the end when they're chasing her
Hmm.
and she's like running away and in my mind I'm like why are you running away if you have these powers? I understand she's still new at accessing
She doesn't
the
know. Yeah, she
powers,
doesn't know what she can do.
but I'm
Yeah,
just like
she has
you
no
should,
idea what her
you know.
capabilities are, and you're right. That's one thing that I wondered about as well, right? Because why haven't you been practicing more with other things with this power than just making stepping stones for you to run across buildings, right? Like you've
Yeah.
Mhm.
seen it in action. You literally saved a girl by reaching out your arm and catching her. That's the first time you knew you had the powers, and now you're just trying to make stepping stones. That seems weird. And so I agree. Whenever she got into a fight with him, I was like, oh, we're about to see her fucking bust loose and try some shit. And she didn't do it until Brian was in danger. I'm sorry. What's his name?
Bruno.
We'll talk
If he
about
calls me
Brian
Brian
later.
one more time.
I feel like that's how Brian. Sorry, Ryan is over here.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's like, you know,
Dude, why my forehead shows so shiny?
the way like they have in the episode where they kind of explain how her grandmother got the
It's a nice
ring
hat.
or got the bangle
Yeah, thanks. I got it at the Chaotic Pubcast
and
episode.
they were pretty much, you know, helping like the clandestine or Jin or whatever you want to call them,
Yep.
like go back to like their alternate like reality. Um, and then I don't know if you noticed, like I noticed when I watched it and I watched another breakdown, is that it looked like the Kree had been there in like the
Yeah, they were
40s.
blue. They were
Cause yeah, they had
blue.
like, it was like a blue arm or whatever.
Yeah, they were blue. So
Jay
that's.
hasn't watched. Jay hasn't watched any
I haven't watched the
breakdown.
breakdown. I watched the reaction video, but not the
But and then you kind of like
breakdown.
see like when they pan out and it shows it kind of looks like the rings, kind of like
No,
Shang-Chi
that
or
was definitely
whatever.
the 10 rings.
Oh
Mhm.
That
yeah,
was
absolutely.
100% the 10 rings.
Yeah, no, and I'm robbing our once again our good friend Eric.
Dude, we
Uh,
always do. It's
the
okay. We'll get him on here one day.
no, but I even noticed like, but like I hate that, right? I hate when I see something that I'm like, oh, and then he does it, and I'm like, oh, if anything I say on the goddamn podcast is gonna be like, oh, I got the nerd boss.
They might. I'm
But
always
you know,
crediting Eric.
when she locks on, and I noticed this a couple episodes when she locks on the fucking
The bangle.
bracelet bangle, thank you, and it lights up a certain way, and you see the kind of symbols underneath, exact same as the fucking 10 rings, same
Shang-Chi.
color,
Yeah.
same like visuals that they use and everything. They are
Can we
definitely very
can we just
much
quickly
related.
appreciate Shang-Chi? How good of a movie it was.
Oh, dude, Great. It's one of the
Amazing
best
movie,
of this phase
amazing.
by
Well,
far.
Yeah,
I would argue that it's
Simu
one of the
Lee is a
greatest
fantastic.
introductory movies, Marvel, and one of the greatest introductory MCU. Because I mean, we've had a lot of introductory MCU movies, right? But Shang Chi.
I wouldn't say it's the greatest. It's
No,
great.
I was not saying the
The
greatest, but I said
greatest for
one
me
of
is
the greatest.
definitely Black Panther. I know we're getting off on that, but
No,
the
no,
way
no,
they
no,
Oh,
no, we're
introduce
not.
I like
like
to know this. That's good.
Black Panther, with T'Challa and everything, like
It-
the
Well,
but
that's why
music
it won
and
an Oscar.
everything is
yeah,
phenomenal.
but is his introductory Civil War or the Black Panther movie? Because he technically got
I
introduced in
mean,
Civil.
yeah, I would say like he definitely gets, introduced, but I would
His
say like
his
they
his
give more
character got introduced
backstory.
in Civil War. He got introduced in Black
But that's not
Panther.
fair to
You know what I
Yeah.
say.
mean?
It's kind of unfair though, right? Because it's like, what if Shang Chi got introduced in the middle of Civil War and then got his own movie?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
Spider
I
Man
see
did.
what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I love. I mean, I still love Civil War.
Yeah.
I
So
I
did
don't I
what
don't
did
I don't I
Spider
don't
Man
think.
did Spider Man Homecoming, or sorry, did Spider Man hit as hard in Civil War as it did in Homecoming?
I think it hit harder in Civil War than it did in Homecoming. Personally, I don't. I mean, yeah, we could have introduced him in Homecoming, but it wouldn't have hit as hard if he didn't get introduced in Civil War.
I would say like regardless of being introduced in an earlier Marvel movie, it's more of like they give like greater backstory of, and obviously like they kind of like focus more on Eric Major's character, but they show like more of like what Wakanda is because you don't really know what Wakanda is until you see Black Panther. They talk about it, but you don't really know, and just like being able to, you know,
I have to pee, bro. I have to pee. Oh my god,
you
I have
got
to pee.
this.
I'm gonna go
Oh
pee.
my
I'm gonna
god.
go.
All right. Hey, anyway, um, unfortunately, we lost our friend Jay on that one. But as you know, you can catch these after hours episodes as they go live on our Chaotic Pubcast Patreon. That is going to be in the description below. They will air early on Patreon and they'll be released a week later on YouTube. Make sure you catch all our new episodes, man. We're in season 3 now. Holy shit. Who would have thought? It's amazing. We got so much good shit coming to you for season 3. We have like 4 guests lined up, like big YouTubers, artists, everything, man. We're excited for you guys to see what all we have. Um, if you want to drop us a follow, catch up with us, it's instagram.com/chaotic pubcast, and same for Twitter. So come hang out with us, man. We'd love to have you. See you later. Cheers.
You could have said
Look,
that while I was here, and I was still listening. And by the way, you calling them people man is very misogynistic of you. I want to point that out. It's typical of
I'm
a white
ending the
person.
recording.